Salute to all the Patreon members, all the supporters, all the subscribers. I want to thank you guys for your support and your contribution made to the platform. It really means a lot to me. I want to try something. I'm using a headset right now for the audio. If it sounds bad, let me know in the comment section below. For whatever reason, my audio interface with my microphone isn't really working, and I can't find my headphones to monitor the volume and the audio coming from my microphone through this audio interface. So I just switched over to my headset. If it sounds bad, let me know, and I'll just go get a new pair of headset if I can't find it. I think it's in my other bag in my vehicle. If you guys can do me a favor, please hit the like button, share this video, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below. Check out the links in the description box below to the Facebook page and the Patreon page. Join those. Much appreciated. Man, I have a lot of ads on this website. This is crazy. Anyways, so we have an article right here by the Daily Mail. It says right here, British backpackers found unalived in a shallow water ditch on Thailand's notorious Khao To Death Island after vanishing during night out with his girlfriend. Okay. Let me show you the guy right here. This is Theo Bailey, British man. He went to Thailand with his girlfriend. Her name is Chantel Siri. I don't really know. All right. So basically, to sum up the article, they went to Thailand as a couple. They went to this island right next to Phuket called Koh Tao or Koh Tao. All right. It's an island off of Phuket. You have to take a ferry to get over there, either a ferry or you got to take a plane to get over there. I remember the first time I was going to Thailand, this 14, and there was a friend of mine. He was from Beijing, China, living in Calgary, Alberta, Canada at the time. And he told me, he said, hey, because I said, hey, I'm going to go to the full moon and the half moon parties on this island over here. He looked at me and he said, hey, with his eyes wide open, he said, hey, do not go over there. He goes, trust me, you don't want to go over there. There's no police supervision. People end up in the ocean over there, unalived on the beach. No paramedics on standby, no hospital on that island. It takes a long time for somebody to get help on that island. This is what he told me. So, unlike a lot of brothers that are in the Passport Bro community, I listened and I said, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm going to do exactly what you said. And I'm not going on that island. All right. My first month, this was August of 2014. 4 British people lost their lives that first week I was there, right, on that island. Because I was supposed to go to that island during the time I flew in. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to bother going. 4 British people were floating in that water off the coast of that beach over there. But this case, this guy, I don't think there was any foul play. I don't think anybody did any harm to him. He wasn't a passport bro traveling by himself, right? He was traveling with his girlfriend. They've been together for 10 years. Seemed like they had a future, right? Seemed like they were headed in the right direction. And who knows? Maybe kids and marriage would have been in the future. They've been together long enough, right? 10 years is a very long time. So what happened was, from what the article is saying, they traveled together, so they're a passport couple. And on a different article, not this one, but a different article, this was the night that he lost his life, all right? On a different article, it stated that Theo, he tends to kind of, when he gets drunk, like you have to monitor him, right? When he gets drunk, you kind of have to be there next to him and help him. Like, you have to watch how much he drinks. It didn't sound like it was a lot. Even if it's a reasonable amount, it really affects him. Okay, so um this is the pitch, or this is the is it a pitcher? Not a pitcher. A pail. This is the pail that they give you not only in Phuket, but walking Khao San Road in Bangkok on the west side. They got vendors where like they give you a daiquiri in a pail, just like this. All right. And it's fairly cheap. But I've never had it, but I've taken a girl to Khao San Road and she bought it. And so this was like the last image they took that night before he disappeared. Let me read it word for word so we have the facts. I already read it, but Theo was tragically found unalive the next afternoon in a shallow water drainage ditch outside the Rock Topis Diving Center, having vanished at some point the night before. All right, so I'm gonna read this and then I'm gonna give my 2 cents and I'm gonna give you guys some advice. All right, I'm gonna give you guys some tips and advice when traveling over to Thailand. His phone is said to have been missing, and police believe he had been there for several hours before he was discovered. Officers said today that the case was still open, but they had not made any arrests. Believing Theo's unaliving was an accident, they claim to be waiting for the results of a post-mortem examination. Theo's body was discovered near Sari Beach, the same beauty spot where Brits Hannah Withridge, 23, and David Miller, 24, were bludgeoned to death in September 2014. The incident which gave rise to the grim moniker Death Island. That might have been the 2 people I was talking about, but it was actually 2 more people, right? That might have been like the weekend after the 4 people lost their lives. An FCDO spokesperson told Mail Online, "We are supporting the family of a British man who was unalived in Thailand and are in touch with the local authorities." Okay, so there was a different article that I read that went into more detail. Let me find it. Was it this one? Okay. Okay, salute to everybody that's tuning in. Bear with me. Let me share a different screen. Forgive me. Okay, so this is the Rock Topis Diving Center that they were talking about. Okay. Found lifeless in a shallow water drainage ditch. Okay, went missing while on a pub crawl with his long-term girlfriend, Chantel Sari. It is believed the pair got drunk with older holidaymakers on the island of Khao Tao on March 18th before he vanished. He was sadly found lifeless in a shallow water drainage ditch the following day outside the Rock Topis Diving Center. Police believe he had been in the drain for several hours before he was located. His phone is said to have also been missing. Okay. So, the phone was missing. The couple were pictured laughing while drinking from buckets of alcohol at a local bar. The Hotel had empty shot glasses in one picture, while in another, the man had removed his top and photobombed another group. Others at the same event were seen inhaling nitrous oxide or hippie crack, and there was a raucous drag performance with drunken tourists joining and dancing provocatively. She's a teacher. Went missing at some point during the Tuesday night. Tragically, he was found dead that next afternoon. It's still open. Man, what was that other article that I read? Okay, let me put it back on this page right here, give you my 2 cents. Okay, so I can't find the other article, but from what I read, all right, this guy and his girlfriend, they were just in Kowtow, uh, you know, hopping from bar to bar, just drinking, having a good time. And in the article, it said that she got up to go to the bathroom. And when she got up to go to the bathroom, he got up on his own and walked off somewhere. And when she came back, she didn't know where he was. All right. Um, they didn't find him till the next afternoon, and he was unalive. And his cell phone was missing. Okay. So, and in that article I read, it was said that, you know, it was alleged that when he drinks, that, you kind of have to monitor him. All right. First and foremost, stay away from these islands. I've been saying this for 7 years. Stay away from these islands. Okay. I know somebody out there is gonna say that I'm wrong. I saw a police officer when I went to Kowtow Island. Okay, but I don't think on the island there are any nearby hospitals, and the police supervision is little to non-existent. All right. Thailand is a very dangerous place as far as if you can't handle your liquor and you like to drink, things can happen, right? Not from somebody doing something to you, but there's all sorts of, I'll call it nature's booby traps in Thailand. In Thailand, the sidewalks are raggedy, right? Most of the sidewalks are made of tiles. The tiles are very loose. There's a lot of cracks in the sidewalks. Um, Even after it rains, you'll have the you have the vendors who dump out the dirty meat water in on the sidewalks into the street, right? That sits underneath the tiles of the sidewalk. Then when it rains, now the little tiles, they float up a little bit because they're loose and they're cracked. You step on the tile, a bunch of water splashes. You push the water down with the tile, then it splashes up into your pant leg. Now you got a mixture of Amazon water with dirty, moldy mystery meat juice all up and down your leg. All right. When you go to these malls in Thailand and it rains, um, they have some material, kind of looks like marble, right? I don't believe it's real marble, but it's that smooth texture in front of these malls, right? It's cool when it's dry, but it's a pain when it's raining outside. People are slipping and falling left and right. Like it's very dangerous to walk towards the entrance of a mall when it's raining in Thailand. All right. On top of that, you have all sorts of exotic bugs over there, rats, snakes, right? You have to be careful wherever you go and wherever you step in Thailand. All right. Now, I'm it's quite peculiar that this man, he walked off and they just found him unalived. Right? They're not saying that there was any if he had any injuries. Uh, both articles are saying, "Hey, wait, for the post." Both articles are saying like, "Hey, man, what do you call it? What's that word that they use?" Okay, the post the examination. Theo's body was discovered. Um, Okay, post-mortem results. My bad. Okay. Thai police said they are waiting for the post-mortem results in both articles. But here's the thing. I don't see how you could walk off and you just end up unalive, right? Did he hit his head? Did he fall down over something and hit his head? I don't really have a good visual as to where they found him at, right? They said they found him by the Rock Toppers Diving Center in the ditch, in the drainage ditch. So did he how deep is the drainage ditch? Did he fall down and hit his head in the drainage ditch? Right? I'm trying to figure out. And where is this drainage ditch to where nobody saw him? Nobody found him until the late afternoon the next day. Okay. Was it in the cut in the back in the alleyway where nobody goes to? But then again, his cell phone was missing. See, that's the key thing out of all of this in the news right here. His cell phone was missing. Why was his cell phone missing? Right? Yeah, I'm buying the whole, okay, you got to watch him when he's drunk. His girl had to get up and go to the restroom. He gets up and walks off. Why would he just get up and walk off? Right? He's inebriated, he's intoxicated. And if you're that drunk to where it's like, I'm gonna just get up and start walking off, then you shouldn't be drinking. If anybody out there is listening and you're that intoxicated when you're drinking, you shouldn't be drinking. You're not even thinking that, hey, my girl is in the restroom, she'll be back, and I want her to see me here. Then we both can leave together. Right? You just got up and walked off. When you got up and walked off, you weren't even answering your phone, right? Because I'm pretty sure she was calling and texting you when you left. I don't know how far from the pub this Rock Toppers Diving Center was, right? But I don't know. You were walking off, inebriated, intoxicated. You slip and fall into a drainage ditch. I'm guessing you hit your head. I can buy that story, but the fact that his cell phone was missing, that's something else, right? Did somebody see him passed out and they ran over to him and they took his cell phone and they thought, oh, okay, this is another drunk foreigner. Let's just take his cell phone. Or did somebody escort him out of the building for whatever reason and yoke him up and unalived him and then threw him in the drainage ditch? What happened? The article's not giving much detail. You would know upon finding someone's body, okay, he fell into the drainage ditch. Was it, alcohol poisoning? Were there any blunt force to the head? Okay, that you could put in the article and say it appears that he hit his head upon falling into the ditch, but his cell phone's missing. All right. Look, I don't know what happened, but here's something to learn here. Stay away from the island. Okay. There was another story I did before where a woman went on that island and a guy from the mainland followed her all the way to the island and, sexually assaulted her, unalived her, and then threw her body in some rubble and tried to cover it up, right, with debris and stuff like that. Stay away from that island. A lot of people are out on the prowl and out to get a lot of foreigners on that island, right? If you know that, hey, I lose it when I get drunk, and especially if you're a man. Don't use your lady as a care person to take care of you for the night. You're a big dude, right? Um, Nobody should have to babysit you because you drink too much. Drink responsibly. If you know, hey man, I get real toe up when I drink, then you know at that moment in time, hey, I'm never going to drink past this much. Woman who, and it's not fair for her to have to care for me. I'm taller than her, I'm stronger than her. You know, no, I know my limits and I'm not going to push it. All right. Because when you wander off in Thailand, there are so many different traps wherever you go that you can fall into. These sidewalks are dangerous. These streets are uneven and the roads are very dangerous. There's snakes, rats, and spiders, and all sorts of weird bugs out there in the woods in Thailand. All right. There's all sorts of trash and empty lots and behind these buildings and sharp glass and these construction rods and knives and sharp objects back there, right? Poisonous plants. Like, do not if you get that messed up when you drink, you shouldn't be drinking that much. You should know your limit. Man Cub Studios 34, something definitely isn't adding up here with this situation, especially with just his cell phone being taken and nothing else. See, that's the problem. That's what I'm laser focused on right now. You're absolutely right. Because this wasn't a passport bro. He didn't just meet that woman in Thailand. No, they've been together 10 years. They traveled there together, right? What happened? And if he was attacked, why did they attack him? Did they just see, okay, this a drunk foreigner right here. This an easy lick. Because if that happened, then it would have taken like two people to do something to him. See, in this article, they don't have the reports back yet. So, the follow-up, I don't think they'll do a follow-up in this publication. The only people they're going to follow up with is the family. So, how can we be safe when we're traveling? Right? If this was in Khao San Road, I'd probably bet that this wouldn't have happened to him. All right. If this was down Khao San Road or something, was he hit by a motorbike driver or a car? I'm curious. And then they dragged him over there because I knew somebody personally who lost their life crossing the street, and he was crossing the street, and there was a motorbike driver turning, supposed to yield, but he hit the guy that I know that was walking across the street, and then he kept on driving. They never found that motorbike driver, right? They never found that motorbike driver. It was in, Thailand has cameras too. And this is another thing is like you really have to be aware and be observant whenever you're traveling abroad, because we know that there's street cameras out there. They know there's street cameras out there. But at the end of the day, these homogenous societies, they're saving face sometimes, right? So they never found that guy that did the hit and run. I'm wondering, was this a hit and run? Was he out in the street? He got hit and then they drug him over to that ditch. And then upon dragging him, they just took his cell phone. Was this a robbery gone bad, or so there's no footage of anything over there. And everywhere in Thailand, it's not like they have CCTV everywhere you go, right? but man, they don't have anything, because I want there to be a lesson here to learn so that moving forward, when we go to Thailand and when we go back to Thailand, we can make sure that we're safe. My heart goes out to his family. My heart goes out to his girlfriend. Um, this is very, very sad. All right. So whenever you travel, all right, whenever you travel, especially to Thailand, stay away from the islands. Okay. Stay away from the islands. Stay away, stay away, stay away from the islands. Do not get obliterated when you travel abroad. Drink responsibly. Okay. Get a little buzz and stop. Right. And know the amount that you're drinking so that it doesn't creep up on you. Do not get obliterated. Right. Don't do it. Also, he was with somebody, and don't run off anywhere. Be within visual sight of whoever you're traveling with, right? This woman went to the bathroom, intoxication. He got up and left, right? I hope that's not the case. I mean, I don't hope, the worst has already happened. I because I would like to, if anybody did anything to this person, I hope they get arrested. All right. I hope that this person just wasn't that drunk to where he just got up and started walking away. Right. I'm trying to be as sensitive as possible, but that is very, very irresponsible if you just get up and walk away while your lady is in the restroom. Right. Guys, don't do that. Be in the same spot where she last saw you at, so that when she comes back, y'all go together. Y'all got to look out for each other, right? But I'm going by that other article that I read that I can't find it, but I think they mentioned that when he gets drunk, he's just out of there. Um, do not try to have fun without drinking, and if you are going to drink, man, drink very responsibly when you're traveling abroad. This isn't back in the UK. This isn't America. This isn't Canada, where you can get drunk and a good Samaritan or the club owner or the bar will book an Uber for you and send you home. And they'll look at your ID and tell the Uber driver, hey, take him here and make sure he gets home. Right? It's not like in the UK or the West anywhere where if you drink too much, the bartender will say, hey, you've had enough. Right? I'm closing your tab right now. I'm shutting down your tab right now. All right. This isn't that. They'll let you keep drinking in these foreign countries. And people on these islands, they're sitting and plotting and watching you. They are watching you, your every move. And I'm like, okay, damn, this man can't even stand up. You become a walking lick at that point. All right. So, you're not in your home country, and there are people plotting and scheming every island. They're more likely to get away with it. Right. So if getting effed up is 12 shots of tequila for you, man. Have 2 shots and call it a night and drink a beer to maintain the buzz, right? Just maintain a buzz while you know while you're having a good time. Don't get obliterated. Don't put your girl through that, right? As men, we got to be on point. We have to be sharp. We have to be clear minded, right? Because your woman needs you. Yes, we're over here, we're having a good time. We've done the research, and it's saying that the crime and the violence is fairly low in this country. But man, in a foreign country where there is no due process for foreigners, there's no due process, right? You have to be clear-minded for your lady because she needs you. I remember walking down Walking Street in Pattaya, and there was a group of foreigners, and they pissed some Thai guy off, and he started punching one of the girls in their group in the face multiple times. And when you know what to do in a situation like that, right, and you're clear-minded and you've done the research, the way that the foreign men handled it, they handled it beautifully, even though it was a tragic event, right? One of the guys, two guys, jumped in front of her to protect her with their body, and they put their hands up and they said, "Please, please, stop, stop, stop." And the Thai guy, he was like, "Okay, you know, they're pleading me to stop," and then he was still pissed, but he stopped trying to beat on her. Right? I don't know what happened, and he just started yelling, cursing, and then the Thai guy walked off eventually. But man, like you know, if she was out there by herself, who knows what would have happened to her? All right. Um, who knows what would have happened to her? Tourists who drink too much will not pay attention to pickpockets. Pickpockets are a thing in Europe and sometimes in Asia. In this case, it wasn't even a pickpocket. Hold on. All right, but you're right. In this case, it was more than just a pickpocket. This was, you know, I don't know. The cell phone's missing. Could it have fell out of his pocket? Sure. You know, obviously, like a minute later, after he left, his girl was probably calling. Did he try to pick it up and then he dropped it and it broke or something like? I don't know. They're not saying that they can ping the towers to even find the cell phone. You know, if you know your significant other's email, right? You can locate whether if you guys have Android, you can easily locate uh your partner's phone through Google. All right. Um, I mean, Apple, man, I've been in relationships where your girl wants you like, hey, you know, put your tracking on so I know where you are at all times, so I know that you're safe. They say so they know that you're safe. They want to be nosy. They want to track you. All right. So um uh-oh, what happened? What happened? Test. All right, I'm back. I don't know what happened, so I'm just gonna shut down the stream right now. Tracking the phones could be helpful, especially on the Apple where you can put an AirTag on stuff. Absolutely. That's some good advice right there. Very good advice. AirTags. If you're traveling with your significant other, there's a way to track each other's phone through Apple in the group chat and the text message. You could do that, where you can allow them to track your device. Google, make sure you have their email so you can put the email in Google and track the phone if it's an Android. Know your limit and go below that when drinking. Do not go to the islands. Don't wander off. Don't talk to anybody who's pretending to be undercover police officers in Thailand. That's happened to me before. And I peeped game when they were approaching me. I'm like, this ain't the cops, right? If a police officer wants to talk to you, they're in uniform. They're not in plain clothes, right? And they're not overweight either. I had an overweight guy come to me talking about, let me see your passport. You know, he's a police officer. I'm like, bullshit, you're a police officer, right? Didn't give him my passport and took pictures of him, his license, and he was like, delete that. I'm like, man, I'm not deleting shit. I'll take this right over to the police department, the precinct, you know, and I ended up walking away. Quick thinking. I was on my toes when that happened. All right. So if anybody's pretending to be the police, they're not in Thailand. All right, guys, I got to go. That's it. You guys be safe. Hit the like button, share this video, subscribe, and check out the links in the description box below for the Facebook page and the Patreon page.